Well, hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream and another chapter, possibly the final chapter. Working on this guy here. That is our R8 Audi, let me rephrase that. That is our Audi R8 Spyder by Revell, 124 scale model kit. Like I said, might be the final chapter today. So let's run the intro and get started. Okay guys, we're back and we're going to continue on this build. So last time, let me grab the car here. Okay, here's what we got going on so far. Okay, so I'll take the roof off because we're not needing that right now. Put that over here. So last time we finally got the chassis mated to the body. We did a bunch of stuff and we got that all done. And at the end of the episode, you guys saw I was having a little bit of issues with my rear bumper and how it didn't want to stay, it didn't want to fit, as the chassis was kind of pushing it away, and then my glue was not holding and it created a little schmutz on there and it didn't look really good. I wound up actually removing the bumper completely, letting the glue dry completely, and then I could re-sand it, sand that spot where the glue had touched. You can see here, okay, it looks pretty good now, but it didn't at that time. There was a bunch of glue schmutz on there and I had to sand it off. I wound up re-sanding the whole piece and totally starting from scratch, repainting the whole thing, re-clearing, all that stuff. Got that done, put it back on, and now it's glued in, it's in place, it looks pretty. The alignment, I wish, okay, I was telling my buddy this, if I could go back to the beginning of this build and start over, what I would do is I would glue the bumper piece in long before we're doing anything. I would actually glue it in before painting. That way I could get the alignment on it perfect before even painting anything, and put any kind of putty that I need to and get that sanded down and smooth and nice and lined up and get that, all those angles there really nice. Because as it sits, just the way it is now, you can see it's not perfect, right? It's not the greatest alignment. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is with this kit, right? But had I done that long time ago and have this aligned with just the body, probably would have been a little easier. And well, it actually probably would have been a lot easier and looked a lot better. But it is what it is, and when it's sitting on his shelf, it'll look pretty good as long as he doesn't have it displayed with the back end out. Anyway, so I think we might finish the build. We got to put a bunch of little things on it. I already started just a little bit of testing to see what I need to do. I did put one of our tail light lenses. You guys might tell that it's got a nice shiny glass lens in there on the back, and I did one side of the front, okay, of our front grille. We got that in there, and I did the headlight lens on the front there, okay. So that's what I did. We still have a bunch more to do, so we're not done, but I'm hoping we can get done today. Okay, I'm hoping. Okay, let's change the camera. Let's have a look. What do we need to do today? Okay, the first thing we're going to start off is changing my glasses. That's what we're going to start off doing because that's what needs to be done. And if I don't do what needs to be done, then I can't do it. Right? Okay, so looking at our instructions, well, yes, we finished putting the body to the chassis and we put our grille on. My mirrors are prepared. They are assembled, my side view mirrors. They are over here. They're happily waiting for installation. Okay, these guys there, happily waiting for installation. They're ready to go on, but we're going to be doing those last, so they get to sit a little longer. Alright, so step number 12. We look at all this stuff that we got going on here. And we've got the windshield, and we've got this thing. So part number 103 I already installed. It's sitting right here. Okay, that is already installed, so I put that in there already. Okay, so let's kind of work our way down. We have to put in our tail light, our third brake light in the center there. We got to put our gas cap on this side over here, and since that's going to take a little bit of work to do the gas cap, let's do that right now. Because the gas cap is chrome and it's right there, we have to get rid of the chrome on the underneath of it there Otherwise, the glue ain't gonna hold. So let's get this off of here. Okay, like many of the chrome parts, if you just leave all the chrome on there, it's not gonna stick. So we've got a big tab in the center of it that's gonna go into that hole. So I'm gonna utilize that tab, and I'm gonna scrape the chrome off of that, like so, so that the glue can hold onto that tab. I'm gonna do that. Expose the plastic underneath the chrome on all sides. It'll also help it to fit into the hole too, by getting rid of the chrome, because you are literally making it a little bit thinner on all the sides. And just in case I've got any flashing on this, I'm going to get rid of the chrome on this too, on that flat side. And finally on this side. Okay, so I think I've exposed enough chrome, or enough plastic. Let me rephrase that. I think I've gotten rid of enough chrome that I won't have any issues with the glue. I'm going to do a little test fit here. Drop this in its spot. Yeah, so he goes in his spot, no problem. Let's pull him out of there. And we're going to take some extra thin, go around in here, and then I'm going to put a little bit on this, not a lot, just a little bit, just to wet that plastic, and then put this guy down, just like that. Okay, so our filler cap is installed. So next we have our third brake light. That's on the clear sprue. Remember, I painted that one before. I showed you guys it's already been painted red. And we're going to switch gears, because using the clear parts, I'm going to be changing my glue. So I'll get this off of the sprue here. Okay. And I want to make sure it's nice and cleaned up on that edge. You need to have a nice smooth edge, otherwise she ain't gonna fit. Not only will she not fit in the slot, it'll look pretty rough, and you don't want that. So clean up that edge nice and smooth. Okay, so it's going to go into this little spot right here, but at the same time, just about any glue that I use is going to, if I use extra thin, I use my thicker glue, I use just about any glue, it's going to eat away the paint, and we don't want it to eat away the paint. I just want to make sure I do. It seems to be a little crooked and not wanting to sit in its little slot properly, but a little tuck in, and it's in there. So there's that. But we need glue. I haven't even glued it yet. So what am I going to use for glue? Well, first of all, I need to pop it out, because now it's kind of being held in there by pressure. So let's pop it back out. Okay. So there's that. What glue am I going to use? If I'm not using my normal glue, what am I using? I am going to be using this stuff. Elmer's Clear School Glue. You guys grew up with this stuff. You know all about it. But yours was white. Well, this stuff is clear. So I don't even have to worry about it drying clear, because it already is clear. Now, we all know that irregular white school glue, well, it dried clear, and it does. And a lot of guys use it for the clear parts. But one day I thought, let's try the clear stuff and see how it does. And it does just as good a job. So I'm going to dip a little thing in here, and we're going to put some on here. Kind of run that back and forth in there. We don't need a whole lot, because it is, after all, you guys saw it's kind of a pressure fit in here. There we go. So let's pick this back up, get this at the angle that it needs to be. Okay, tuck it in there, set her down, and get that in there. There we go. Oh, she popped out. Just need that edge to pop in, and there we go. So she's back installed again, and there we go. The glue will help it. It's already kind of held in by pressure, just by not pressure, tension. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. It's held in with some tension. Okay, so working our way down is going to be this tail light here. This is going to be part number 100 that goes in on this side. Let's grab that off of the clear sprue. Part number 100 is this guy here. So I want to be careful when I'm trimming these off the sprue, because if I trim it super close, the distortion of the plastic can actually cause it to be white. So I'm actually not going to be using these nippers. I'm going to be using my much more expensive God Hand nippers. They're a little bit smaller, but these guys are super sharp, and they cut the plastic a lot better than just crimping it. So I'm going to hold on to it here. I'm going to trim it away a little bit, and it cuts it nice and clean without causing any whiteness. And now I can trim a little bit closer, and there we go. And I've got no white distortion on the clear, and that is the beautiful part. The sad part is we've got a little bit of a schmutz up there, just I think from the molding, that I'm going to have to file. And of course, filing causes white, but I might be able to get away with it here. Okay, so that's that. Now this sits in there like this, so I need to add some glue. We're going to put some glue on our tips. Okay, glue on our tips. You want glue on the tips. Where did my applicator go? Did you guys see where my applicator went? Where did my applicator go? Did it fall on the floor, guys? Is that why I can't find it? Or did I put it somewhere and I forgot all about it? Yes, I did. I wiped it off over here. Why didn't you guys tell me? Okay. A little bit of glue here. The nice thing about this stuff is if you accidentally put too much on, well, it's clear. And, you know, because it is basically wood glue, it's wood glue and it's clear, so you don't have to worry about it smudging anything, and you don't have to worry about it messing up your paint job, because it's not hot. It's not a hot glue. So there we go. Sorry, Kevin did that off camera a little bit. So we've got our lens in there, and I put some glue on each tip, and that was it. Just each tip in here and here, tucked it in there, and that's it. So that is our two tail lights. Let's move to the front. Since I've got the glue out over here, okay, I've got my glue ready. I want to work on the front here, and let's get our headlight in. So on the front, our headlight on this side is going to be part number 115. We'll do that. And of course that's one of the few clear parts that are left on here. And I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm not going to cut right directly at the plastic, at the part. I'm going to cut it a little further back. And then now I've got the nub there, but now I can get in nice and close and trim that nicely, just like that. And there's no white, there's no stress, and that's beautiful. And of course there isn't a little, just like the others, the back, there's a little something right there. I'm going to try, instead of my regular file, I'm going to try my Razor glass file. You guys have seen me use this lots of times in my Gundam builds. Okay, Razor. This is a glass file, and it works wonders. It files things down, especially like clear parts like this. And yeah, it's beautiful. It filed that nub down, and there's no white at all. It did not stress the plastic whatsoever. There's absolutely no white on there. You guys can see there's nothing. It's just perfectly clear. Buy one of these. They're expensive. They're like 50 bucks or whatever, but it's definitely worth it. Razor. Just Google Razor file. Razor file. They're awesome. Okay. So we're going to need some glue on each edge here, just like this side, and just like my other corners. So do a little bit of dabbing. You could go across the top if you want to, it doesn't really matter. With this stuff, the fit, I found that you guys might be wondering why did I do parts not on camera? Well, because I do some stuff off camera so that I can kind of test it, so that when it comes time to actually do this for you guys, I have a better idea of what I'm going to run into. And there we go. Headlights in. Okay. So, last clear piece is our windshield. The windshield is right here. You guys saw I got the thing all painted. Our rear view mirror's in there. This is ready to drop in. This just literally drops in just like that. Right? No problem at all. So we're going to put some glue in our corners. I did recently see online some guys talking about using electronics repair tape recently. I've seen on the on Facebook and stuff like that. Electronics repair tape for Windows. There's a YouTube video out there of a guy showing how to use it. It looks like it's a revolutionary thing that maybe a lot of people never even realized. It's a little bit expensive. You can get it on Amazon. And I went and ordered myself some. 2mm wide double-sided tape. It's basically is all it is. So there's our windshield. Windshield's installed. Okay, so that glue holds it enough that even now it's holding, right? You guys know the properties of that glue, and it's going to hold it. It's obviously doesn't create a strong bond like regular glue does, and for something like the windshield where you have this border around it, you can probably get away with your Tamiya extra thin and not really have any issues because of that. But like I've said before, the Tamiya extra thin would have a tendency to try and eat away the paint under there, and then you can see where you've applied the glue, and that's not fun, and it's not what anybody wants to see. and yeah, and so there you go. Okay, so that's it for our Elmer's glue. We're done with that now because our clear parts are all done. Okay, so I can take my little piece of plastic with glue on all over it and throw that away. All right, so what does that leave us with? Well, we have the other grill part that's got to go on the front here, and that's this guy there. That is part number 116 for the passenger side. So we're going to trim this off carefully, just like so, and then clean up our nubs on here. Where's my knife go? This part is a little bit delicate, so you'd want to be careful when you're scraping away the nubs. The fact that I've scraped away the paint on that side doesn't matter. That's not seen. That's on the other side. So that's thank you very much. Yes, that's thank you very much. And our nub under here doesn't matter if the paint's scraped away, because again, that's on the bottom and you don't see it. So this guy, he's going to go in right here, just like that. And he sits right underneath the light, and he's happy there. So let's get that off of there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue around in here where he's going to sit in his new home. Just around in there and up here. So the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want to give it the opportunity to start working on the plastic and the paint, my white paint job there, before I put this in. So it's already been working on the white, and now that it's in there, I'm going to press it in just a little bit, make sure it's in there in his new home where he belongs. And now very carefully add a little extra in there, just like so. And there's our grill on that side. Okay, that one's done. I believe that finishes off the front end, except for our Audi emblem. Yes, we have an Audi emblem. We've got chrome Audi emblems that go on this car. So we're going to do part number 114. There's two of them here. 114, obviously. 114, and then we got 105. 114 is for the front. Let's put this down over here. Very carefully. It's a very delicate little emblem. It's not very often you get actual chrome emblems in your kit. One side looks like, just seems to be a little bit cleaner, so while it was on the sprue, I took a file to it. And of course, because this has got indents on the hood and everything for it to fit, this has to be trimmed almost perfectly. Okay. So there's that. Let's do a little test fit. Get this positioned in a way that I can see it. Okay. So yeah, it's going to sit right there. So then the question is, how do I get glue on that spot without getting a glue all over the place? Right? That could be an issue. Well, I guess we're going to do sparingly glue on here in the center. Fortunately, I've got all kinds of clear coat and everything on this. if I did say anything, I would say that's really kind of out of scale. Having the emblem sticking up like that, it really is, like, what do you think? The real car, is your emblem sticking up that far compared to everything else? I don't think so. And yet here we are with this huge chrome emblem. I think they would have done a better job just molding the emblem on there for people to paint, you know? Because we got to do the same thing on the back. Before I do the emblem though, we're going to do our last two chrome parts, and that's our exhaust tips. Exhaust tips go into our bumper, and I'm just going to take a look which side is for which one do they designate. So part number 101 is our passenger side, and 107 is the driver's. So let's go our passenger side first, number 101. Let's grab that one. This is 101 here. I did already took a file and I scraped off the chrome on the back of it here. So there it is. Okay. There we go. So this guy supposed to go in here. Other way around, I guess. Let's flip them around. Kind of a tight fit. Doesn't really want to fit in there. I don't think it's supposed to stick out that far. At the same time, I don't want to. See, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of that hole, which is going to help lubricate it so I can slide it in there. And I want to put some glue on the tip back here where it's supposed to make contact, because we've got the chrome already taken off on that back edge there. So let's do that. Let's put some glue on here, and then some glue back on our exhaust. And see if we can shove that in there. It definitely helps lubricate it. And we're in. Okay. So he slides in a lot further than I thought he would. He's really in there. And let's do the same with the other side. Knowing that it goes that deep inside, well, I'm tempted to get rid of the chrome all the way around it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. We're just going to use the glue to lubricate it on this side also. Shove him in there. There we go. All right, so there's our two exhaust pipes. Alrighty, so Audi emblem for the rear. That is part number 105. Again, be very careful in trimming it off. Pop that out of there. Looks like it was held on by 3 spots. Alright, there it is. Do a little test fit here. Actually, I got a little bit of trimming I need to do here. Actually, we might be okay. Yeah, she looks okay. Just a little test fit on our spot here. Yeah, it is the same kind of deal as the front. It's going to look a little bit like it's too big for the spot. It's going to look a little out of scale. Just like the front. Give it a little press to get it in a spot. There you go. And there's our Audi emblem on the rear. Alright. There's our rear Audi emblem. Okay. Now I'm running out of parts, which is a good thing, which means as you're running out of parts, it means you're almost done. Let's move my glue out of the way before I dump it. From what I can tell, it's what I'm running out of parts on sprues. I've got two extra little parts here. These are the little inserts that are supposed to go into our side vents, which I think look just fine without them. I think that looks just fine without them, no problem there. Which means we don't need these. These are garbage. Garbage, garbage. So the last things I've got, door windows, which we're not going to put door windows in this thing. That's kind of silly. You drive around with your door windows up, that's dumb. Why are you doing that? So we're not going to put the door windows on. But the car does have windshield wipers. We've got to put our windshield wipers on. And now I've discovered, remember a long time ago I was talking about a hole in the cowl over here on that driver's side? I just realized what that hole's for, and that's to fit the driver's side windshield wiper on. So our passenger side just has this tiny little peg that's going to go in that little hole there, and that's all that's left on that sprue. So let's do a little test fit here. Because these are painted, that little tab might not fit in the hole, so let's get rid of some of this paint right here. Clean that up, especially because these are brush painted, so the paint's going to be a little thick. So let's just scrape that off. I mean, I put a little glue on that hole there, and that's going to act like a lubricant anyway, but I'm just going to make sure. And I'm going to have to, because of the nub, and it happens to be right there, it might be seen. Actually, no, it won't be. Let's just do a little test here. Put that in there. With the windshield in there, that makes fitting this guy in there a little bit hard. But, well, he goes in. So I can't really complain about that. So let's get him out. And you can't see anything. He looks fine. Okay, let's get that out of there. This guy, his little peg has what looks like flashing on it. So let's just kind of clean that up. I've seen guys like A4 Garage literally fabricate his own wiper blades out of metal, and it's just, it amazes me the skill that he has. Okay, so the peg is done on that one. Let's see if he fits in the hole. Oh, he fits beautifully. Wow, okay. I have no problem with the fitment of wiper blades. So we're going to put some glue in that hole there. And he's going to go in right there. Just like that. And I'm going to put some glue into this hole very carefully. Him in his hole, put him down, just like that. and oops. Play around with them and then go oops. I actually want to put a little dab right there. Right there. Just because I don't want, because it's there, you know, there's a chance you catch it and then you rip the wiper blade off. But if you put a little glue there, then it's not going to have that problem. So I just want to make sure he's tucked in nicely. That's good. In theory, I would like to push that down right onto the windshield and have him glued right there on the windshield, but it's not really necessary. Okay, are we done? No, we're not done. We've got two more things. Two more things. Those guys right there. These guys have been waiting patiently for days. Let's get this off of the sprue, or what's left of the sprue. Okay, throw that away. Now, it's kind of hard to tell because this is molded in white and these are white, but these got quite a bit of paint on them, so we're going to scrape the paint off the little tab here. Okay. This side too. Because it's got to go into this little slot. Bingo, right there. Okay. And even my paint in this little spot is a little bit thick because I got about 6 coats of paint on this thing, including the primer and the clear. We're talking about 6 coats of paint through this thing, so it's not gonna hurt to scrape a little bit away out of this little hole. To help get the mirrors to fit in there properly. You know, layers and layers of paint, well, it adds up. I've seen guys on like Facebook model groups and they're like, what did I do wrong? Well, first of all, you put like 3 millimeters worth of paint on your car. There we go. So that fits in great. So we're going to put some glue in there. Put some glue in our hole. A little glue on the tab. Pick this up. Shove it in. And there we go. One mirror installed. Do one last little test fit on this guy. It's tight, but he goes, so that's good. The glue will act like a lubricant. Nice and easy for them to go in there. They're a nice tight fit, so they don't wobble. It's nice. I like that. That's rare. You can close up the glue bottle, and we can call this done. The build is done, guys. There's no more to do. She is finished. Ta-da! There is our Audi R8 by Revell. R8 Spyder, I should say. It is a very nice kit, and it went together very well. And of course, the only flaw I have is I got one wheel that happened to get glued in place. All my other ones, they all spin, no problem. But this one just happened to get a little extra glue on there, and now he's glued solid, and there's nothing I can do about it. But that also means this thing's never going to accidentally roll away. So, ta-da! The hood opens. There is a bit of a trick to doing it. If I can just kind of get underneath of it here. Okay. The trick to opening the hood is you have to pull it towards the back of the car. You got to pull it back, and it's a bit tricky. Okay, like that, and now you can open it up, and then you get the detail under the hood that is almost non-existent. Right? So there you go. And then to close it, you just kind of slip it, push it back as you push it, as you get it down, and there you go. Ta-da! And then of course we do have the roof. We do have the soft cover, the soft roof. Got the window in the back there. It's hard to see there, but there you go. And that just plops down on there. Now, they did have 2 pegs that you could put 2 holes if you want to have it down all the time, but we're not doing that. We're just going to put it down like that. And so you can have it sitting like this and have the roof on it if you want. And then of course you have the option to just lay it aside, and there you go, and you can see the interior and all that fun stuff. And yeah, okay. So guys, again, that's it. She's done. It was a nice build, I will say that. And it is a beautiful car, that's for sure. If you like the Audi, you like this car, I recommend this kit. It's really nice. It is unfortunate, as I've heard, he told me if you got the hard top, then your engine compartment cover is actually clear, it's glass, and so you can see it. Unfortunately, with this one, you don't get to see the engine very much, and that's just the way it is. But it is a nice build, and she comes out really nice. She fits together really beautifully, except, of course, for the back bumper, which, regrettably, I would have liked to have put that on before even painting it, and that way I could have done any kind of body work necessary. But that's the way it is, yes. So guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank you for joining me on my journey in building this guy. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you so much. Speaking of subscribers, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button down over there. I really appreciate that. And leave a like too, that would be really great. Helps out the whole YouTube algorithms and all that stuff. And down in the description box, like I tell you guys all over and over and over, you're going to see links to my stuff, my Twitch channel, my Instagram. Every time I finish a build, I take a bunch of pictures of it and I upload it to my Instagram. So you can take those, take a check, and if you like, you can look at it too, and check that out. Yes, and because you know on the videos here you don't get to see it all that much, and I get the still pictures, and yeah, it just looks a little bit better. Anyway guys, thank you again for watching. Thanks for joining me on this, and we'll see you all in the next one.